Thanks for coming again today.
All right.
Final discussion of the day. We want to talk about you, your methods, your lifestyle. We can talk about business, but more about you than the business. And the reason why I want to do this is because, from my experience, I've been with mentors in the past where I got involved and it took me a couple of years to get down the line to realize that using their methods were going to provide me a certain type of lifestyle I didn't want to live. In my case, it was very much a lack of freedom. That was just unique to me. And I don't want coaches to go through the same thing as I did, whether it be something different to freedom or whatever. So I want to find out basically your methods have provided you a certain type of lifestyle. I want to kind of delve in a little bit into that. And also you as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So first question, a general day in the life of Dan, what's it look like?
It does vary depending on the week, but every day starts, I take the dog out first thing in the morning. So 5:30, I'm out. And then depending on the day, I either work at home, depending on what day it is, or I work at a co-working space. And the reason for that is because I work at home all the time and I just don't see anyone.
Yeah.
So I pay now to go to a co-working space, and it's been the best thing. I've only been going there since last September. It's great. So depending on the day, I go to different places. Then in terms of the day itself, we have calls on certain weeks. So depending on what week it is, I have calls. And normally they're scheduled in the week in advance, so I know when they are. And then I'll either be doing the calls, or also around that, replying back to any weekly debriefs that come in to us, and then go through. So normally the start of the week is that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes replying to the weekly debriefs that come from the coaches the week before. And in between that, it might be working on projects that we're doing with certain coaches. So some coaches, we build a lot of things for them and with them. Some we might be working through sticking points that they're at, and things of that nature. So replying back to them. Other than that, I try and swim. I try and swim in the week. I train as well in the gym. I'll be honest though, my training I used to train like 7 days a week, but since sort of running your business and stuff like that, and also being a father, I don't train as much, but I'm trying to get better at protecting that time, which I think is important. But if it has to be moved, it's probably the first thing to go for me, to go over the business. I'll be honest with that. So yeah, I do that. It's probably a typical day, really. I try and finish work. I'm better at this now. I used to work like through, and then I would have dinner. But like now, because of my son, I'd always have dinner with them. We all have dinner together, do the bedtime stuff, and sometimes I'll do a little bit of work in the evening. Sometimes I need to, sometimes I want to. Yeah.
Cool. How many hours generally do you work a week?
I'd say I work a fair bit, probably 30, 40 hours maybe.
30 hours, yeah, it's not a lot, is it? So from what I've heard from other coaches, I guess, or unless it could be my just lack of organisation and the amount I have to put in.
Yeah.
How do you organise your week? Have you got a certain structure?
Yeah, so it's not like I'm not very. I don't plan everything through like a certain schedule, like in terms of I use Google Calendar and stuff like this. I do use my calendar. So I have the calls. They can only book in on certain times. So I try and do the calls in the afternoons. So at least in the morning's free. Some weeks it has to change. Every Thursday is blocked out for Jack, my son. We take him swimming, or we do other stuff. So it's always blocked out. And so then the calls are at a certain time. I know they're going to be. Some weeks we don't have any calls. I work on a rotation basis. So I have at least 2 weeks out of the month. There's no calls. That's needed. I tried doing the calls all the time, tried doing them consistently, and it's proper burnout territory. So yeah, I had to change in order to be able to still deliver. So yeah, and that's been fine. And I don't really do anything else from like, as long as it goes in the diary. Me and my wife have got a shared calendar. so we can block out stuff and know that if one's away, we need to, childcare and stuff like that. So that's probably the biggest thing we do from organisation. But yeah, sometimes I get it wrong. So.
How do you stop burnout?
I think you just get good at recognising the signs. I get very good at it. It's not something to be proud of, but I feel that you can ride the red line a little bit closer to burnout, and you build a tolerance, right? And again, it's not something that I reckon you should be a thing that people want to achieve. Is like, I can work a lot, and you might say that it's unhealthy and whatever, but I feel like I enjoy the stuff I do, so I don't mind doing it. But there has to be a limit. You can't just work all the time. So I've got better, but I used to be a lot worse. I'd say you need a release. You need something that you do to get out of that mode, whatever that is for people. Like I went for a period of stage in my life where like going out was like it was the only way I could stop working. Like it was like a forced break.
Yeah.
Because I'd go out. I love music and stuff. I'd go to like raves and things like that, and I'd just start in and I'd just feel terrible for like 2 days. So it like forced me to like a break,
find a different way.
So yeah, I try not to do that as much. I'm old. I'm so old now.
The reason why I'm asking about like time and all this stuff is really getting down to the point of like freedom. Do you have much time freedom, or freedom in whatever sense you kind of you see?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I can do what I want, like technically. I can go and plan my own days, but then people say that you still have to have discipline, and you have to set. The biggest thing for me is I have a set structure for like my day. I have times in my head that I know I want to do things by. So I start work at 8, and I'm gonna like work to this time. I'm gonna have like lunch. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna go train. I'll put my training in my diary. Finish work at this time. So they're unwritten, and they can flex, but like discipline's always been something that I've had from. I was in the fire service for 11 years, and we worked to a very set routine. Everything's routine. Everything is repeated processes over and over again until you know it inside out. So the whole point is you don't have to think when you're going to like run into a burning building. But and even to the point of your day-to-day in there is all done. Everyone knows where tea break is. You know when lunch is, and it's very protected time. So I just transferred that out when I left. It's just inbuilt in me now.
I like it. Changing it up then for a second, what are your top 3 most common felt emotions over a week?
Emotions, probably maybe there's elements of frustration in there sometimes, like frustration a little bit, either to do with what stuff that's going on, or my own frustrations around like what I see happening and things like that. I try not to let it cloud me too much anymore, but frustration still comes out, like we talked about today.
Yeah.
Frustrations, humour comes up a lot for me. I need humour, like some form of like entertainment, on
Laughter,
funniness, memes, whatever it is. That's part of my life. And then just general like contentment as well. Like if I'm with Jack, there's no, like you can't explain the feeling. It's a really weird thing. Like I can just, I get it now. Like, and I was never like I didn't really want kids. And then I'm like, I fucking really understand. Like, why? So there's a lot of that happens, and maybe it will change over there when he gets older. Yeah.
Cool. What are your biggest stresses?
Being present enough is probably one of them. Like that balance between wanting to be there enough to see, to spend time with not just Jack, my wife, and everything. Like to be present in those moments and not be thinking about work. Because when you work for yourself, like you'll know you think about it all the time, which I think everyone has. And the only thing like switching off is this thing that people talk about. Oh, you can switch off, and you just dimmer it a little bit. Like.
Yeah.
So getting better at that. Presence. Probably like even though I use the calendar, sometimes like I say, I'll mess up and I'll like forget to put something in there, or I'll assume someone knows that I've mentioned it, and then I'm like, oh, actually no, I've just told myself in my head. So stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Cool. And what have you had to sacrifice, if anything, to get to where you are?
A lot of, like, I've had some probably big, I say arguments, conversations with my other half over like work. She's noticed a lot of stuff. Like I throw myself into work. Like I'm not, don't go half measures. I fully invest in anyone I work with, and I'm all in. And that can be all consuming sometimes. So the point, she'll notice it in me. She's like, she sees me withdraw. I'm on my phone a lot more. And then, so we've had a lot, I say a lot, like we've had conversations, and you can feel, we know now when it's going to happen because you can feel it build up. And so we kind of stop it before. But yeah, that's probably like the biggest thing.
What parts of you or your life do you maybe not show online as much? And obviously this will be going online, but anything you'd like to share that you maybe don't usually share or you don't show as much?
I'll be honest, there's probably not. Like I know everyone puts their best stuff online, and we all do, right? I like to think that if you met me in person, you wouldn't be suddenly shocked at who I am. I think there shouldn't be a surprise, you know. It should be the same person. And yeah, we curate our stuff, and it's supposed to look all nice. But I don't think there's nothing else I've got no things that I do in private.
Yeah. After meeting you today, I'd agree. It's very close with what you say online. It's what I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So I was going to ask about your different methods of building businesses and kind of who they work for, who they don't work for. But obviously today we've established that you don't have one method. You have many different methods. So I'll change the question to who do you work with and who do you not work with?
We recently put an application form in over last year for a few reasons, just getting a few like bad fits into our coaching. And whilst in that application there's 6 questions, and one of them is around revenue, but it doesn't really all hinge on revenue. Like if someone still wants to really work with us and we know we can help them and we know a good fit, then we'll still have the conversation. But they are someone over and above like everything else. They have to be someone who is willing to engage in the process and actually have input in it. And I know it sounds really weird, but there are people out there who don't do that and they just expect it to happen. So like you have to, I want to work with someone, almost like collaborate and be a partner with that person. Because like I say, I will fully invest myself in your business. Sometimes I feel like I'm more invested than the coach. And I find that really weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's your business.
Yeah. I get that with my clients. Sometimes I feel like I want them to change more than they want to change.
Yeah.
No,
you should be. Why am I excited? You should be excited. So we're filtering those people a little bit more now, which is cool.
Good. What mistakes did you make along the way when you were building your business? Either your coaching business or this business, or any mistakes that you've made that people can learn from?
Yeah. Fucking loads, I think. When we did like the coaching business, we didn't probably grew, like we had too many, we were doing too much, and then like we were speaking earlier, we got to a stage where like I couldn't do the calls on the frequency they were because we got so busy. And then I was like, well, I haven't got so much time. And then I realized that people didn't want the calls anyway, so it's like, it's fine. We had 3 coaches at one point, and then there was you suddenly start throwing new dynamics into the mix, and you start being more, like you say, you're more of a manager, but then you're dealing with humans and emotions and stuff. So very fine balance to get the right people. I found that finding the right coaches is one of the hardest things to do when you're growing a business. So that was something that we learned from. But it's all good lessons. Within like the mentoring side of stuff, I'd say at the beginning as well, like we were doing a lot more calls, like ongoing stuff, and people, we'd attract more people who were looking for a savior and things like that nature, clinging to calls as like this thing that they need. And actually you'd be better off not having this call and just working on the stuff we need to do, right? But again, that doesn't happen as much now because the message, I think, is clearer with who we want to attract. And but we still mistakes we make now, like how can we make improvements in the delivery side of stuff? Are we doing too much? Like we noticed call frequency, attendance dropping. We just run 2 calls in the week that people could come to. at the start it was really good, and then it filtered off. I'm like, well, and then I'm like looking inwards going, why does no one want to come to these calls? And I think it's something we're doing. It's actually not. It's just because people couldn't make it. They really wanted to, but they couldn't do it. So now we're looking at doing this stuff more like asynchronous. Like we're talking just changing the way we deliver. Otherwise, you start getting in your own head about it.
Yeah.
Like, why don't people turn up?
Yeah. What are your main business bottlenecks at the moment, and what are you doing about it?
It's probably, do we want to, like, we're at a level now where, like we spoke about earlier, we're kind of like this consistent growth where we've got the right fit people coming in. Not having to do anything too crazy. I don't like doing stressful launches. I'm not into that. I just love a consistent flow. But then I'm like, what do we do with that? Like, and this is cursed, isn't it? Of like entrepreneurs, like, we need to do more, right? What do we do? And I'm like, actually, do you know what? It's all right. Maybe it's okay. And so I think what we're doing now is we're looking at doing some stuff. Like we did more of the one-off kind of builds and stuff. It's what we've done with yourself and some other, and that's working really well. And that's kind of like, it solves my need for like doing stuff like that because I really enjoy it. And also, it's another channel for revenue, which is cool. But so maybe that kind of scratches the itch.
Yeah. Makes sense. What would you say you're most proud of in life?
My son.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. It's great, I think. No, I don't think it's great. It's such a cool thing. Like, I also feel like it's being in a position to be there and see the stuff, because I feel so like lucky and fortunate that I can do that. And I think even being in the role I was in before in the fire service, I still had time, but even then I wouldn't be seen as much as I am now. And I think, and I've got friends who have got kids who just like, they work all week and they don't see it. I'm like, and I take that for granted sometimes. Like, it's good.
Yeah. No, I like it. Okay, mate, final question. So I want you to imagine it's your 85th birthday. It's your last birthday on Earth. All your family, friends and loved ones have turned up to your birthday party and they all have something to say to you. If you could choose a common theme of what they say to you, what would that be?
What would they say?
What would you want them to say?
I don't know, really. I think as long as I don't think it'd be more like a saying thing. I'd want them to feel that. I just want them to feel comfortable in being around me as like a presence thing almost. Like, so there's no like awkwardness. I feel like as long as people feel that they could reach out and speak to me, and there was no like kind of barrier. I think openness,
approachable and
yeah. It's a good question, though. My dad was 90 last year, and I tried to ask him similar things, and it's the stuff you think about when you get to that age. It's just simple stuff.
Yeah.
So something like that. Just I want people to obviously say, "Oh yeah, he was a great person," and all that stuff. But no, it's like how you make them feel. I'd rather have an impact on how someone felt around me, rather than them going, "Oh yeah, he was good. He was all right."
Yeah.
I always want to feel like your influence can bring someone, include people and stuff, bring people in, that kind of feeling. Yeah. Nice.
Cool. Great stuff, mate. Appreciate you coming today.
All right, man.
Thank you very much.
Good.